Okay, hi everyone. We should be live. Okay. We should be live. Hi Florian. Yeah, hell yeah, brother. HYB. Hi Luigi. HYB. Hi Jason. How are you doing? Also, I have to pin all the HYBs.
Dude.
What? Is that for what's up? Like, I feel like
Dude.
I'm so
Yeah,
old. Okay.
I forget what that's from, but that's a funny one.
Someone said some acronym for what's up I think they said WSP or something in the Discord. I had no clue what they were talking about. I thought it was some like internet term. Or like I didn't think it was slang. I thought it was like something like WSL or whatever. And they were saying
Yeah.
what's up.
The one that's been getting me lately is TIL. I literally did not know that was today I learned. So
Really?
yeah, people were
That's
posting it.
neat.
I was like, what is that? It's so weird. And then I
Hi,
learned.
Roxy. Internally though, people use that emote for today I learned for Tilly as well. Because we don't
Mm.
have a Tilly like image. So they'll put the today I learned for Tilly, which is
Oh,
fun.
that's funny.
Yeah, what's on your hat, Devon? Before
Oh,
we get started.
this is from Laracon AU 2025. So it's the level up. So
Love it.
yeah. Picked that up while I was in Brisbane this year. Or
Hi,
last year.
welcome in. Yeah, y'all last year now. Welcome in. We'd love to know where you're joining from. So as you come in, make sure to say hi and where you're joining in from. Very good short, Devon.
Florian, Short Kings, it is, man. I like it. I think you met my shirt, which Laravel
I
swagged out
probably.
too. Yeah.
I don't have the shirt. I have my Lambos here.
I got
Hi,
this shirt at
welcome in.
Laracon Dallas 2024. So
Oh, really? I didn't
yeah.
get a shirt. I got the elephant. I got the Laravel PHP elephant.
Yeah. I got mine over here hiding next to my creeper.
Waiting for Laravel 13. Stay tuned. Not for the stream, but just stay tuned with updates.
Soon.
Soon TM. Hi, Pushback. Yeah, happy Laravel AI SDK Day, everyone. That's like a huge
Yes.
announcement. We won't be like demoing it or going over it this stream, but stay tuned. And it is going live today. I'm really excited about that and to see what people build with the AI SDK. I've already built one project with it, and I plan on bringing in two other ones.
I built a couple cool things with it. Actually, we have one thing where we have calls with customers that get recorded, and then it hits a webhook, and we use an agent to go through and get us next steps and notes and feedback for the sales reps. It's really cool, and I wrote it using the AI SDK.
That is really cool. Mine's a book journal app, and I use AI SDK to generate like AI suggestions of what book I should read next based on my mood and the like reading history of what books I've read and enjoyed lately. So I've enjoyed that.
That is so
Um,
much cooler than my sales agent.
it has more like general use, you know.
Yeah.
Um, Paul, the topic today is cloud office hours. So we're doing kind of a general Laravel cloud office hours. I shared a Slido ahead of time, which we already have a lot of questions on to go over and answer today. So we'll be doing that as well as Devon will be doing a live demo of private cloud, which we got questions about last time, as well as um, private environments.
Preview environments. Yep.
I knew that was wrong word. I was like, private sounds wrong. Private cloud preview environments. There we go.
Yeah.
Let me share the Slido link again. I think this should just work for it. Okay, so I'm going to share the Slido link. Let's go ahead and jump in with intros and everything. So hi, everyone. Like I just said, this is Laravel Cloud Office Hours. I'm Leah Thompson, and I am a DevRel engineer at Laravel. You've probably seen me on the channel a good amount of times now and kind of know who I am. And then I'm here today with Devon, who was here last time for Cloud Office Hours as well. Devon, you want to kind of like briefly say your title and everything again?
Yeah. So Devon Garbalosa, solutions engineer here at Laravel. I work with customers that are migrating onto cloud that have advanced technical requirements, helping them figure out what a migration path looks like.
We love that. And I kind of did the framing already, but this is Laravel Cloud Office Hours. So we are answering questions that we got through the Slido, as well as hopefully some questions we get in chat as well. But a big part of what we'll be doing today is showing the demo of the preview environments in private cloud to kind of close the loop on questions we got last stream, as well as they're just really cool and we want to show those off. We'll also be touching briefly on some questions that we've gotten about Vapor and Cloud. We've gotten some of those on Reddit and Discord and different places. So we'll be briefly touching on some of those today as well. And yeah. It's important to note that this is also part of a recurring series for Cloud Office Hours and Office Hours in general. So I know we're live today on Thursday because I'll be out of town tomorrow, but generally this will be every other Friday at 11 a.m. ET. So if we don't get to your questions today, we'll be able to get to them next time. And yeah, let's go ahead and jump into this demo.
Awesome. So I prepped a little bit ahead of time for this. So one of the things that we came out of last office hours with is that I was talking very hand wavy about how private cloud works. And so I had the team whip me up a private cloud that we can use so that I can demo that out. So one of the big things that you'll see is when you start a new environment here, it will come up and it'll get your name here. I got to add a 2 since it already exists. And then the dropdown will give you the option to choose either your dedicated resources or the shared cloud for the different regions. And so what we really like about this is it makes a transparent UI, whether you're using shared cloud or private cloud. And so say you want to host your production workloads on that private cloud, have those things going for you and have that isolated, but your dev and staging, you really want to do something else. Or you have customers that you're about to build out in another region across the world, and you're like, hey, I really need this one closer to Singapore for testing before we launch this. You can go ahead and launch that there. And so it kind of gives you that kind of one view, even though there's multiple things you can do here. So that's the first part. The other one is our edge network here. You have your private networking, which you basically can bring your own domain for, and that allows your auto-generated URLs to end in that domain for you, as well as it gives you advanced WAF features that aren't available when you're on the shared network. That just ends in Laravel.cloud. So I pre-spun this up on purpose because I needed to make sure that we avoided any potential issues that might come up because I am a noob at some of this. So I created this app here. You can actually go check it out. It's solitaire.laravel-demo.cloud. It's live out there right now. Design, shout out to Ryan McKenzie here at Laravel. He did a little design on this, and I use this with some vibe coding to get it to work and look really cool. So essentially, it's just a base
the link
game.
You sent me, right?
Yep.
Okay. I'll share the link.
Yeah.
There we go.
Perfect. So people can go check it out, look at it. And so it's just basically a solitaire game. You can just drag around. Oh, look, I'm making bad moves already. Let's see if we can get a couple here. Boom. Allows you to work. Disclaimer, I found out this morning it doesn't work on Safari. So use Chrome or another browser. We will probably fix that at some point. So just
and not
kind of
mobile,
basic.
Right?
It does work-ish on mobile if you're on Chrome. So I did make it.
I was on Safari. Okay.
Yeah. So basic game, right? But we're missing some things. So fucking for life.
Dave always tests everything on Safari, so he finds all the bugs.
Oh yeah. The reason I know it doesn't work on Safari is Dave sent me a Slack message this morning. Goes, doesn't work on Safari. And I was like, there it is.
Chip's like, oh, Safari. Chip, you'll be getting a lot of Safari messages from Dave of like the website. Yeah, maybe it's just Dave and Devon, Florian, because it works. It works for Florian and his Safari.
I actually didn't test it. I went with Dave's recommendation that it doesn't work. So blame Dave.
Also, hi Ashley, welcome in.
Yeah.
Okay.
So a couple different things here that's a little different for you if you're on private cloud that I want to just highlight is it shows you that you're using your dedicated endpoint here. It also shows you that you're using your dedicated here. And this allows you to see like, okay, this one is actually served in my private cloud, not on the other ones. And so we can kind of show what that looks like if we go out to one of these other ones that's on shared cloud and it doesn't have those badges there for us. So I zoomed this in a little bit so that people could see, because when I was sharing my screen first, it was a little big. So there is some Zoom stuff we're dealing with here. But what would be really cool, right? And I'm going to kind of frame this idea. I'm working on this cool app that's very important. Solitaire is a necessity of life here at Laravel.
Yep.
Just making this up.
Can't live without it. Yeah.
But we want to say, hey, it would be cool if when I got stuck, I could hit a button and it gives me a hint, right? So let's add that in. How do we do that? And so this is where we have the other side up here. So I did make a branch here. So we're going to set this up and we're going to say, hey, feature hints. So I created this and locally it works great. But now I want Leah or somebody or everybody here watching the stream to be able to see this and be able to give me feedback on it, right? So before, what would we do? We'd schedule a massive crazy Slack huddle, get people together and be like, okay, I'm going to share my screen. You guys tell me what to do. Or we got to ship it to our UAT server. We've got to do all these things. And so this is where preview environments really change.
Or a million looms, like a million loom videos.
Yes. Millions of looms. So this is where preview environments, and these are available on regular shared cloud as well as private cloud, are lifesavers. And so I have one out here and we'll kind of look at the settings. And so you just give it a name for the automation. You say what environment to replicate when it stands up. And then you could trigger it on either new branches or new pull requests. And you can to a certain branch. And you can also filter by the branch name if you wanted to say like, hey, only the ones that start with feet or feature, because the other branches might be work in progress or bug fixes and we don't need those. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. So it gives you that flexibility. So then it says, okay, replication options. I want it to replicate all the clusters, but maybe I want to say replicate and downsize.
Sorry, I'm laughing at Ashley's comment of 9 million looms. So
Loom is life. Yeah.
Loom is life. I joined and instantly got like a million looms and I'm like, what is happening? Like, what is this?
Absolutely. So here you kind of set different features that you want. So you want to replicate all the clusters. You want to use the same database. You want to create a new database, which is probably what I want to do, right? Because I've added a feature that's going to change my schema. So I don't actually want it to go on the existing database. Let's put it kind of off to the side here. This is a simple app, so no cache, no object storage, no WebSockets. I don't have any custom environment variables, but if you have these, they would appear down here for you to consume. And then you can auto deploy on trigger and auto destroy. And if you need to say you have migrations and seeders that you want to run for test data, you could have that run here in these initial deploy commands. And so once you kind of have this, you save that setting and it becomes part of what happens here. So back on our GitHub side, I'm going to create this pull request and click both buttons because I literally sat here doing a pre-demo to Leah and was like, why is it not working? And then click the button. And so boom, right there.
Leah, do you see it? I don't see it. And I was like, I don't think so. Did you hit the button?
Exactly. We're professionals, guys. So right away, Laravel Cloud app popped in, said, boom, preview environment created. It's deploying the environment. We see it put this in here, and it's kind of going through its thing, and boom, kicked off our deployment. So now it's ripping this off and doing this here. And so this takes about 45 seconds to a minute to deploy this application. This thing is going to make a liar out of me. It's going really fast today. Love it. And so what's really cool is what will happen is it will take the URL that it generates for this preview environment, and it will put it back in this PR. And so it will just replace this here and allow you to have that really quickly so that you can go and use it. And then people all over can basically see what you have and be able to use it right away. And so we're getting super close.
I also just saw messages about my Christmas tree. Does my Christmas tree in the background really irritate people that it's still up? It's fine me.
People being Christmas haters. All right.
So
that's deployed and boom.
We got the link. Okay. 1 second.
And it's up. So we're going to drop that in chat so people can go play this as well. And so now preview environment gives you hints.
It should be that one, right?
That's the one.
Actually, hold on. Can I get the full link? Sorry about that. Full link. I copied it from the comment. Okay. So if you were to copy that link and then paste it in, you should see exactly what Devon does. So you should see the solitaire project. You would see it with the hint feature that he was talking about. And then you could just share this, like if we were actually working on this internally, you could share this internally with different people who work in marketing or different things who don't want to have to spin up your branch to see this new feature or like get a million looms, and then they can just play around on the website. So then you can also test like responsiveness or different things like you would. And you're also not having to go back into Laravel Cloud, into the UI to create a or like to host this branch specifically, like Devon showed. It was just spun up whenever a PR was open. So that's like the magic of preview environments.
Yeah, and we won't pull the rug pull on everybody right now, but if I were to go and close this PR, it spins down all the environment. So I'll show that in a little bit. Looks like we got a couple questions about the preview environments, though. We want to take a look at some of those.
Yes. Are they further up or is it like these?
That one. I did a massive CIC to make this exact. Yeah, that was a lot of people gave us very similar feedback that they're like, I really want this feature. It's really nice. This takes a lot of judo to figure out and a lot of resource. And we were like, oh, what if it just became first party in cloud? And so we built it, and it's really cool.
Really cool. We use it a lot internally. Like I was working on the marketing sites a lot last year, and we didn't have this at first. So we were having to do a million loom videos to share the new page or marketing site that we are working on with the team. So with like our marketers and different things like that. Or I would have to bug my manager to then open up a new environment for a specific branch so that we did have that hosted so we could just share that link. Now we don't have to do this. So especially if you're working with different external agencies or whatever to build certain projects, you're not having to work about like the go-between of like, okay, we have this ready. Can someone go and host this on cloud so that we can see it? No, they just open the PR against our develop branch and then it creates that link already. It's instantly put in a comment and then it can just be shared. So you get that instant feedback, and that's really good for those kind of situations. There's also this question.
Have you all thought about partnering with open source projects like Statamic to promote this feature? This would be really nice to test all the PRs. So this works on any project that goes out on cloud. We do have some nice relationships with the Statamic team, and it does run on cloud as long as you use the database driver. The file driver doesn't work currently because of the ephemeral storage that's on the pods, but technically with AI and the cloud API that's coming soon, you could probably do something where an update makes a PR on your behalf and then does some orchestration and allow that. But somebody would have to kind of hack that out to make that work for the first time. But yeah, Statamic absolutely runs on Laravel Cloud, and you could take advantage of something like this.
Is for the preview environments, is it, I know private cloud is part of the enterprise plan on Laravel Cloud, right? Is preview environments, or what tier is it available under?
Ooh, that's a great question. We are going to go live, find out right now.
And where are you going to find this out, Devon?
I'm going to the docs.
We love docs.
So plans and pricing, preview environments are available on the growth plan and up.
Okay. It's actually way better. For some reason, I thought it was enterprise. Yeah.
Nope, on the growth plan. So yeah, that's a fun one. I'm not gonna pull it for you, Florian, now that you've almost finished a game using all the hints. So I should, right before he's done, just collapse the environment real quick.
I mean, but you're assuming he's using the hints. He could be on the actual link.
He straight up told us earlier that he's using the hints.
Someone said cool magic of preview environments. They are very, very cool.
Yes.
Someone said, can you apply filter rules for preview deployments? For example, I wouldn't need them spun up for Dependabot PRs.
Yeah, so pull this up here. So you could be like, hey, previews from humans, right? And then you could say new branches and filter the branch so it's contains or matches regex or whatever. So it may require a little bit of a workflow change to make sure that your humans are using a tag or a prefix or something that Dependabot doesn't, so you can get around that. But yeah, that's absolutely something you can do. And if Florian's done with his game, sorry, Florian, I'm gonna do it.
I need a hint button auto clicker. That's so funny.
Florian will never finish.
Oh, no, you're messing up E. Spencer as well.
Aw, I'm sorry.
We're sorry.
So
He was trying to spite Florian, not you.
So when I close this, environment's gone. Done. And that happens whether you close it because it needs to be closed out in general, it's not going forward or it needs more work, or if you actually merge it, it will also take it down for you. And so that does it.
Let me do that. It's gone, yeah. Magic. Poof. Completely spun down. It gets rid of all the resources you had for it too, right? So you had created a new database.
Yeah.
That's gone
So
too.
I didn't create a new database cluster. I created a new database on the existing cluster and it deleted that database. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yep. And if you added a brand new whole database cluster, then it would also terminate that cluster for you.
For sure, the reopen. Not quite sure what that means.
Ooh, let's find out.
Oh, I see.
Oh, it did it.
It did it?
It did it.
Same link.
Look
or
at
new
that.
One?
Reopen. I just clicked the reopen button and it popped it. Look at that. The really smart people in engineering totally knew that somebody was going to ask that question, and I had no idea. I love that.
Is it the same exact link as before, too? Did it
No, it'll be a brand new hash one.
Yeah, boom.
Yeah. Boom. Love it.
Big minds. Big brains. I feel like we need HYBs in chat for that. Yeah, thanks for the engineers that implemented reacting to this webhook. I feel like that's
fantastic. He definitely was involved.
Someone asked this, I'm not sure. I said, can Laravel Cloud's recent private infra product be used within my AWS user so that we can have clouds deployments in our infra?
Yeah, so our private cloud, essentially the way that it works is we create an AWS account and a VPC that's completely separate for you and your company. We deploy in all the stuff that makes cloud run and then combine that through the organization into the UI. So you still have the one entry point that you use, but you have basically dedicated infrastructure and AWS account that's specific to only your environment. And then what we can do is we could do either a VPC peer or a transit gateway connection to existing AWS accounts, and that'll allow you to use those existing services and have those. And as far as like compliance and things goes, you can go out to our trust.laravel.com, and under cloud, we do have SOC 2 type 1 and type 2, CCPA, GDPR compliance, and we are currently working on ISO 27001. Which will be coming pretty soon. And then I believe after that, we're working on HIPAA and BAA stuff. So
let's see. There was also this question. Do you plan to support AI feature in the future?
Oh, yeah. Tons of it. We're working with it a lot. Spoiler alert, we're launching the AI SDK today. It's not really a spoiler alert. So,
no.
But everybody knows that Taylor announced it from Laravel India's stage. So, yeah. So that's coming out today, which is Laravel's opinion on using AI and how you can use agents, and has a lot of helpers for working with the file system, making sure the agents run on queues, and a lot of things like that. So if you're at Laravel India and you saw the demo, or in San Francisco and you saw the demo, amazing. And I can't wait for everybody to see what they could do with it today and see what happens. So.
Yeah, the demo is really cool. Working with it has been really nice. Even I was using it with an internal beta, but even then, working with it with Boost and something like Claude Code or whatever, it was able to just look at the docs for the AI SDK and figure out how to write things. So I was able to get like cooking really fast with it. the documentation, of course, is great for it as well. And there's so much baked into it. It's just really, really great. So I'm
Yeah,
excited
and
for it to go live and people to use it.
yeah, it was really cool to test and use. And like I kind of said a little earlier in the stream, I created a utility that runs on cloud using the AI SDK that's powering how our sales team gets feedback from the sales calls already. And so like we're already using it in production, and it's only releasing into beta today. So the future of it is just a fantastic outlook.
Let's see. Back to this though. Did you have a private cloud or like, is there any other parts of this demo or do we want to jump into the Slido for some questions?
If we're don't have much here, so Mateus got me with the shirt. I saw that pop up, and I was like, "Yeah, it's a great shirt, great shirt." Um,
Twinning.
yeah, that was mostly what I had for the demos, kind of showing that off and showing what
Mhm.
that does there. If we're kind of wrapped on the questions from the demo, happy to jump into the next steps here.
Yes, I guess. Does anyone else still have questions about the preview environments or private cloud? Anything that was kind of specific to the demo or the demo made you think of? Oh, did he? Okay. Taylor pushed AI SDK, MD docs to GitHub and Laravel docs 10 minutes ago. Let's go.
Nice, let's go.
Let's go. I also love that it was like people notice when he does that. It's like 10
Oh
minutes
yeah.
ago he did it. I'm hyped too, though. I'm really hyped about
Oh,
it.
I will admit that I definitely have notifications on for anything that hits the framework. Love to know what's coming up.
Ashley, I can't. He's talking about the shirts. Mateus said you can just cut it a bit. You
Mhm.
guys.
Facts.
Okay.
The
Okay, I
real
don't see
question,
any other
Ashley, is how am I
questions.
hiding Mateus if he's in the same shirt as me right now? That's the trick. Magic.
Okay. So I don't see any other questions there. So we're going to jump into the Slido. And I'm going to share the Slido again. Questions we don't get to, we will answer in the next office hours, or some of the team will reach out and try to answer those questions as well. But let's kind of jump into the Slido. And one thing with the Slido I noticed is that we have a couple of questions here, like 5 questions here, that are related to Vapor. I know we're focusing on cloud in the stream, but some of them are talking about like migrating from Vapor to cloud and stuff like that. I know, Devon, you're doing a lot currently working with clients who are migrating from Vapor to cloud, and you're doing a webinar coming up soon. So do you want to kind of answer those questions?
Yeah. So a lot of them have some similar themes here. So I'll kind of read a couple of the questions and kind of answer these all together here. So first question is, when will you discontinue Laravel Vapor? It seemed clear from the talks at Laracon that this is the plan behind closed doors. How much are people saving on average migrating from Vapor to cloud? Why isn't the potential abandonment of Vapor communicated to customers, given that Taylor said a year ago it would run indefinitely? What's being done to prevent breaking changes being deployed on cloud infra, given that deployed changes impact existing apps like Forge and Vapor? And why are Vapor customers pushed towards cloud, given they are different products and costs aren't the only reason to choose? Cloud lacks a lot of control for one. So we definitely saw this pop up in Reddit and stuff too, and Taylor answered. So kind of just to close the loop on that, as Taylor said, there is no decision currently on whether or not Vapor is going to become end of life or not. When there is a decision that gets made on that, it will be communicated proactively. There is no guarantee. Vapor definitely has its place and what it does. Lambda specifically for serverless does a ton for very specific features of applications that need that scalability and stuff. But what we see is a lot of customers get the same or better value from cloud, oftentimes for cheaper. Because one thing that we run into a ton with Vapor customers is the free tier on Lambda is great. You get 1 million invocations a month. The moment you go over that, the costs add up really quick. And so things like having DDoS mitigation built in, it's an opt-in in Vapor, it's by default in cloud. And so there's just things where it kind of watches your back a little bit so that your costs can be more predictable, from those perspectives. As far as costs and average things, we have a few customers that have migrated actively from Vapor to Cloud that we've been in touch with. And on average, they're saving about 20 to 30% and reporting faster load times and things on their applications. So that's a little bit of why we are starting to find that Cloud serves a vast majority of customers' needs differently than Vapor does, and in a lot of cases, better for the customers. So the other thing that I want to hit on is we are doing a webinar next week. We'll drop the link in the chat for that with a customer that did migrate from Vapor to Cloud, and they have reported that they are saving greater than 50% on their cloud spend from their migration from Vapor with AWS to Cloud, and 7% faster speeds that were measured. So if you do have very specific questions about Vapor and moving over to Cloud or why and whatnot, a lot of those will be answered during that webinar. It'll be hosted by myself, and I'll be happy to answer those questions in that form as well. So that's a lot of the Vapor there. I think.
Did you hit on the one about breaking changes? Like what's being
Breaking
done to prevent
changes.
breaking changes?
Yeah, so a lot of the stuff for breaking changes on Cloud actually is there's not a lot of stuff that could have breaking changes because it runs on images. And so if the images fail to build, they won't deploy and they won't be healthy. And so that's something where we actually proactively reach out to customers if there is an infrastructure change that's required, that it goes and does that. But because of the way that it works, we're building an image on a container for you at build time. So if we have to swap out the pod underneath that's running that because the instance itself is unhealthy, the image is still the image that was there. And so it's only when we make changes to those images that there could potentially be breaking changes. And if that happens, it just doesn't ship, and then we contact the customers where they're needed for that. So that's where it's kind of like the isolation, because you're using that contained environment. There's not as much of a feature of breaking changes when you ship an OS update like there is on Vapor or on Forge.
Gotcha.
Your Christmas tree popped up again.
It was so like, I don't think there was comments already on YouTube, but I checked our Slack and someone shared the link of the stream and someone's like, does she have her Christmas tree up still? So there was a discussion of it there, and then Haz is like, you still have your Christmas tree up? Yes, I do. I am moving in like 9 days though, so it will go down, but I think I'm putting it back up in my new office. So Christmas tree lives on.
It's actually a Valentine's Day tree now, guys.
It is. It is.
I did miss one. The Cloud lacks a lot of control for one, for Vapor versus Cloud, and that's solved by Private Cloud. In fact, Private Cloud has better compliance offerings than Vapor currently does, because there's some of that you could shift left to us as the infrastructure providers, whereas you're on your own to go through all of those audits and prove that now. So.
There was also someone asked here, does Laravel Cloud have all Vapor features?
No, and not all Vapor features will be moved over. I mean, for one, Vapor runs on Lambda. We purposefully created Cloud to run on EC2s using EKS for Kubernetes for scale, and so we probably won't be migrating over Lambda features of that currently. There is some decisions that are being made with that, and if it is the right fit for it, we will definitely build it. But we are finding that running it on EKS is more efficient, more cost control, and in most cases fits the needs of the app better. So,
okay,
awesome. What else we got? Fun questions.
Let's go to. We got Christmas tree questions. Okay, we'll ignore the Christmas tree.
Oh, the important ones, Christmas tree questions.
Let's go to, because you kind of touched on this earlier, but let's go to the GDPR one. There's a question that says, will you ever offer GDPR compliant options for EU customers?
Yeah, so trust.laravel.com. We do have GDPR compliance for Cloud currently for what we do with it. Now, when you deploy your application, there are considerations that you still need to do to code your application to be GDPR compliant, but there's nothing stopping you from running GDPR compliant applications on Laravel Cloud.
And this is the website he was talking about, trust.laravel.com. I feel like I'm posting all the links today in chat. But
all the links.
All the links. Okay, let me mark that one as answered.
I see another one right after. When will you achieve ISO IEC 27001 certification to
Mhm.
support enterprise use cases? We're in the process of it right now. That one has an observation period that's required, and we're in the middle of that observation period, I believe. So once that one comes, we're hoping sometime late Q1, maybe early Q2, that we'll have that. And in a lot of cases, the SOC 2 Type 2 meets a lot of customers' needs because it has to do with your application that you're deploying there, and any internal systems you have on private cloud that interface with it also need to fall under your ISO. And so there's ways that you can architect your app to be there. So it depends on exactly what the need is there, but we will be getting that one very soon. Actually working on it.
This is here in chat, but someone said, is there any webhooks after the EMV is ready? Which I didn't know if this was talking about
Ooh,
preview environments or.
that's an interesting one.
He said, yeah. Mateus asked, you mean once a deployment completes? And he said, yes.
That's funny. I literally was going to go like, "Hey, is Mateus still here?"
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say he's our API guru, so he did answer. Not yet, but it's on our list. You can ever pull an API endpoint. TM coming soon. Those are going into general availability, I believe, sometime this month
The cloud
for
API.
everybody. Yeah, the cloud API
Yeah.
is going into general availability soon. If you want access to it in early access, reach out to our support team and ask, and they can grant you early access to that. But it is early access, so
But it is very cool.
yeah.
Marcus answered for that one. You answered about that one.
Oh,
Is there
love
a
this one.
definitive, which one?
The
I was gonna,
SSO sample one. Yeah.
okay. Is there a definitive timeline on SSO, SAML, and RBAC for the enterprise plan? This is non-negotiable for us, and the site only list coming soon.
Yes. So right now we are internally testing the Google SSO, and that will be coming within days, maybe a week or two at most. And that will be first. Shortly following that, we're building out a very robust RBAC for enterprise. And then later after that, we're going to have SAML built out for many providers like Okta and other ones out there. So that's all coming very soon. But if you use Google SSO or SAML, that will be very, very shortly here. So.
Okay, and then the next one is, do you provide 24/7 support and guaranteed response times with an SLA?
Yeah, for our private cloud customers, we include our artisan support, which does have that. And then you can also, if you don't need private cloud, but you do need the support, you can, I believe you can get the support as a kind of standalone add-on. If you go to our enterprise page, there's a contact sales form. You can talk to an expert, and we can get you a quote on what that looks like and get you started on that. But yes, we do offer it um, for customers.
We will do that. And you said with the enterprise plan, right?
It's, I believe, business and enterprise. You could get it. Don't quote me on the business one. It may only be enterprise, but it used to be on the business plan because the enterprise plan wasn't ready yet. So
Gotcha. Next one, do you engage in any form of carbon offsetting for your usage?
that is an interesting one. I don't know the answer to that one. I'm going to lean on the side of we don't, but we should definitely consider it. And I'm going to take that one back to the team and see if we can get anything kind of started on that.
I was laughing. Ashley quoted you on it, and now it's was pinned to stream, so now the whole stream will be quoting you on it.
Winning.
Okay. We answered the carbon offsetting one. The next one is, when will the South America region be launched?
Ooh, I saw another one that asked about an India region in the chat too.
I was
So
going to bring that one up.
yeah. So with those, we add regions on as they're requested. So if you have a specific need for that, please definitely fill out a feature request through our support tools in the docs and request that. I do have a little bit of a thought that South America might be coming in 2026. I don't know about India, but I believe South America is coming, and potentially Tokyo is on there as well. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. We did just add the UAE 2-3 weeks ago. So ME Central 1 is up and available if you're in the UAE.
And let's just jump and answer one from chat real quick. Unrelated question, but does Laravel Cloud itself use Laravel Cloud?
That would be awesome Inception. No,
I don't even
not
know how
quite.
that would work.
Yeah, because you would have to like create it to do it. It would be like bootstrapped. That'd be really interesting. And so there's a lot of different technologies that go into making Laravel Cloud itself work. And so it's not quite just running on Laravel Cloud, because it's not just a plain Laravel application. There's a lot of orchestration in the background with task runners and things and whatnot. So, but a lot of our marketing sites and Laravel.com and a lot of those do run on Laravel Cloud.
They asked, does Nightwatch use Laravel Cloud? Which I can tell you 100% the Nightwatch marketing site does run on Laravel Cloud.
Mm-hmm. The actual like back end of Nightwatch is again another one. It orchestrates a whole bunch of different runners that do things kind of asynchronously. So it, I believe those are not. I think those are written in Go or something like that to make those work faster and have the concurrency that they need. So I don't know, but I don't think so. Just the marketing site on that one.
I'm going to star some of these other ones I saw in chat and hope we can get to them. Let's jump back into the Slido really quick. So we answered the South America one. We answered this one. How do I launch a hobby project on Laravel Cloud and ensure that my monthly costs stay low? Like no more than $5 to $10 per month.
Oh, love this one. I am going to just show you. Let me pull this up and then share my screen.
And I will put it up.
It's me. None
Yeah,
of
I
you. I
really
don't have
like
it
this
up yet.
question too. I know. I keep watching. I'm like,
All right. Am I up? Boom. Yep. All right. So back to cloud. So in your organization itself, you can go to settings and you can go to billing. Oh, I'm sorry. It's in usage and then alerts. And you could say, hey, I want a $5 monthly spend alert. You save that. And then when you start getting close to 50, 80, 100% of that, it will then send you alerts to your email to let you know. And so if you need to, you can then go in and you can go out to the application that you have up and running and you could go and tell it to stop if you need to. So that's the way that you can cost control that.
and I think also using the pricing calculator is like a good idea too, to see like, okay, if I set up my application using these resources or these different things, here's how much it will cost. And you can play around with like, okay, if I hibernate, here's how much it'll be. So you can play around with different things to see what the cost will end up being. And that is the pricing calculator. But I think the alerts you just showed are really cool too. I didn't even know we had those.
Yeah, those are definitely really helpful if you need that proactive look there. And another thing is that a lot of people run into things when consumption based where you get like a DDoS attack and what happens on that. We have DDoS mitigation built into cloud. So a lot of times you won't have something where somebody decides to go target your site and now all of a sudden your costs ran away. So
let's see, sorry. I got distracted. I have too many tabs open. Who would have thought?
it's literally my brain every day.
It's like, oh, tab, what's this? And then I get lost. Okay, someone said, is there any ideas for alternatives to hibernation being woke by scheduled task?
There is coming soon that option. We are looking into creating the ClickOps version of schedule management, but you can also do auto scaling via the APIs that are coming out soon because you could set the replica count and things from there. So pretty soon you'll be able to kind of roll your own if it needs to be intelligent. And we're also trying to build in a managed scheduler ClickOps style.
Let's see. Let me mark that one is answered. I've seen this one once or twice in chat, so let's go ahead and answer this one. But is there any plans for building API in Laravel Cloud?
I need more info on that one if you're still kicking around. Oh, never mind. Mateus to the rescue again.
Rapid fire. His fingers were right there on the keyboard ready to answer.
Hey, makes it great when the guy who's writing all the APIs is in here answering the API questions. Makes my life easier.
We appreciate you. Okay, let's jump back in Slido. Someone asked, will you provide an MCP server in the future for my Cloud Code agent to automate deployment? I see there's API doc. Do you share the API key upon request?
Yeah, so reach out to support to get into the early access for that, and then you can do that, and it's coming out into general availability. Mateus can probably tell better than I can, but I believe it's supposed to be sometime in February or early March that's going into general availability for APIs.
Very excited for that. Yeah, Mateus, crown, very
King.
Just eating lunch, listening to y'all's beautiful voices. I'm shouting at Codex while listening to beautiful voices. I finally tried Codex last night.
I can't cheat on my love of Cloud Code, man. I love it. I'm addicted.
I really like Claude. But I already pay for ChatGPT, so I was like, wait, I can actually. I thought Codex would be like a separate sub or something.
Yeah, I stopped paying for ChatGPT to pay for Claude just because I like Cloud Code that much.
I pay for both.
Use them both.
Yeah. Use them both. Okay, we answered that one. Someone said, "Is Melly search / TypeSense on the roadmap? I'm glad we have first-party support via Scout, but we need a solution in cloud."
Yeah, so we have kicked around adding Mila search or TypeSense in the future. Nothing currently right now because Algolia and I believe Mila search have hosted options through API that work very well, and a lot of customers do opt to go that way. But we definitely hear that there are a lot of people who want to kind of keep the costs down and have a little less latency on that. So it's something we're definitely considering. No hard kind of like it's being worked on now yet, but it's definitely something we've talked about adding in the future.
We answered that. Okay, we're doing good then. I would love to see a way to estimate cost in migrating from EC2/ECS to cloud. Is any way to estimate cost based on connecting and scanning existing infra plane?
Yes, I actually myself have been thinking about this and how we build this for our enterprise clients that we're working with in sales. So definitely something we want to do. We've gotten pretty good at looking at an AWS bill and kind of figuring it out backwards compatibly. There's a little bit of if we were to create a tool that you could use, what's the security requirements and compliance and how do you use that and all of those things. So that's why it's really not like something kind of mainstream out there. But for your old style version of doing that, you could just go out to our pricing calculator and kind of look at that. If the pricing calculator is insufficient for what you're doing because your cloud spend is pretty big, go to our enterprise page, cloud.laravel.com/enterprise, fill out the contact sales form, talk to an expert, might get me, and we could definitely have one of our folks that specializes in calculating those get you a quote.
More links, because I'm really good at that today.
Links on links on links. We're killing it.
But those are the links for the pricing calculator Devon just mentioned, as well as the enterprise page on cloud. Once. So that was beautiful. And I don't think we answered this one yet, but I think you mentioned it earlier too. Will cloud offer services similar to ALB/CloudFront/WAF in the future for those considering joining?
They're already there. So the ALB, we're load balancing between the pods and the replicas for you. We're not using an ALB to do it. We're using our own version of that because it's on Kubernetes. CloudFront, we're using Cloudflare's DNS. I'm sorry, Cloudflare's Edge for the caching that you get the benefit of through the enterprise plan as it comes to our hosted zone. If you are also a Cloudflare customer where you manage your DNS, you also have the ability to set up your own cache rules and CDN assets and things there. And so you can kind of go. So if you're thinking about the way the traffic goes, it comes from the internet, it hits your Cloudflare zone, goes through all of your rules and all of your things for DNS, and then it points through to our Cloudflare zone, which is where we have our DDoS mitigation and other things built in for the product. And then it goes from there into the EKS pod to serve your traffic. And so absolutely all of that works. And if you have advanced requirements that you need for WAF and you're on private cloud, we do have private networking that allows us to set up a custom hosted zone and you can control those. And so that gives you kind of very advanced WAF features if you need them. So the answer is yes, it's already there. Just depends on what use case you need for where you need to go to get the best features for you.
And I saw, so there's a question about browser shot in the Slido, as well as I did see one in the chat. So it might be the same person. But the Slido one is, I feel like browser shot is a really popular package for Laravel. Would love to see something more integrated for this.
Yeah. So the reason browser shot doesn't work on Laravel Cloud today is it's very heavy. When you install that, it needs a headless version of Chrome. It needs some other drivers and binaries that run to be able to do that. And that adds, I believe, somewhere between 10 or 30 megabytes per image. So if you take that times every customer, times every environment, times every commit, it becomes very heavy and it reduces the build times and things. And a lot of people do use it for production applications, but they're not using it. Not everybody's using it. And so what we've started to look at is how do we offer a solution that will allow this to kind of work? And so the team's kind of brainstorming on ways of like, can we allow you to opt in? Can you kind of do it a different way? Can you say like, hey, I need browser shots to make sure it's part of the image and doing those things? So we don't really have a exact way of how we're going to solve that, but the team is actively working on it to be able to solve that one. In the interim, there is image manipulation API from Cloudflare that has an extremely generous free tier. And Dries, one of our engineers here, did post on X the other day about how to use it. It's super simple. You just need an API key from Cloudflare. And a lot of customers are actually finding that that makes it really kind of brain dead for them to use and helps them to just never have to think about how do I orchestrate browser shot again. So definitely check that out if you haven't. And Dries Vince on X is who posted it and with code snippets and stuff.
Bye, Roxy. Thanks for joining in. I know Florian won a round of solitaire. Spencer did too, so.
Yay! He must have done that without hints. That's the win.
Oh yeah, because you got rid of.
Yeah.
You took that down.
Or did I put the hints back? I put the hints back up. Maybe they. We'll have to find out. You'll have to update us, Spencer.
Okay, I think we answered all the questions though. If anyone has any other last minute ones, we might be able to get one or two.
Sure did. Without hints? Nice.
Let's go.
I had a preview that I was going to do with an autocomplete button that was ready to go. It's literally a feature branch out there right now. And then I realized that I would be the person who got stuck here trying to play solitaire live on stream for 45 minutes. And I was like, yeah, you know what? Let's go with the hints instead of the autocomplete feature. Even though the autocomplete is really cool. It does like animation and everything. But yeah, I couldn't count on myself being able to finish a game that fast.
That's fair. I did see this one earlier. Maybe it's, so they said it's an unrelated question, but can queue workers write to /TMP in Laravel? And if so, is there a limit?
So you can, but you shouldn't, and there is a limit. And I believe in the docs.
Did you say you can, but you shouldn't?
Yeah, it's because here's why. The pods are ephemeral, have ephemeral storage on them. So when you do the build command in Cloud, it builds the image, and that all gets persisted to the image disk, if you will. There is room that's left over on that disk for small operations and things that the OS on that pod need to be able to do and whatnot. But if there is a scaling activity, then what ends up happening is it kills all of the files that were changed after that pod. So the image is the truth, right? And then anything you add there. And so it's a little not like we can't guarantee that's going to work every time. So that's one of those. Yeah. Exactly. The limit depends on the instance size that's underlying. Don't ask specific. Yeah, I feel the same way. I believe it might be on the docs. If not, I may go and ask somebody to go put that on the docs. But where you can, using object storage is the way to go. And that really helps to be there.
So one more, and then we'll start wrapping up. Can support help customers migrate from Heroku to Laravel Cloud?
Yes and no. If you have questions of certain things that you're running into, you can absolutely reach out to support, and they'll get back to you as soon as they can on anything that might be blocking you. If you need to have an advanced migration plan, we do offer that through our enterprise plans. That's literally what I do. I work with customers that are trying to move on to cloud and that have complex requirements and help them come up with a plan. We stop short of hands on keyboard, right? I don't write code. I don't look at your code base. Everything's hypothetical, infrastructure, and all of that. We do what ways have we found that people have migrated things? We have some. I have some documentation that we're building out about ways that you could do database migrations from an outside source into Laravel Cloud using GitHub Actions. That's going to be going out soon, and so there's a lot of stuff that we're doing with that. But yeah, if you need advanced help and you need some more hands-on, go to our /enterprise page and talk to sales, and we can take a look at it.
Let's see. Okay, I think we did really good. We got through all of the Slido questions.
I saw one more in chat about the Cloudflare image transformation API. There is also one for browser rendering. Yeah. Cloudflare image transformation.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. There is one for browser rendering. I don't know what the name of it is, but I believe that's the one that Dries did tweet about, was specifically the browser rendering one.
1 second. Let me also get the link. If people have other questions that you think of, and you want us to answer them in the next office hours or try to answer them leading up to that, please drop them. Let me make sure this is the right link. Yes. Okay. Please drop them in this Slido. It's just easier for us to keep track of the questions in the Slido. So please drop them here for any other questions so we can make sure we see them for the next office hour stream, which would be not next Friday, but the following one at 11 a.m. EST, which I believe would be 4 p.m. UTC. Okay, awesome. So let's go ahead and wrap up. Thank you everyone for being here today with us. Thank you, Devon, for being here and answering a bunch of cloud questions for us, as well as the great demo of preview environments and private cloud, which I think was a really cool demo and people really enjoyed. Solitaire. Just a quick summary, Laravel Cloud is a fully managed way to host your Laravel application. So if you're new, you don't know what cloud is, that's what it is. And rewatching the stream to see all of the questions we answered in the demo, I think is a great kind of introduction to cloud. Devon, do you want to do a quick little wrap up as well as talk about the webinar that you're doing with Pile again?
Yeah, absolutely. So first off, thanks for having me again. I love coming out here and talking about cloud. It's literally, this is one of the best opportunities I get in a day to talk to people and speak about a product I really love. So that's awesome. As far as the webinar goes, on the 10th, I believe, we are doing a webinar, February 10th, with a customer of ours that migrated from Vapor to Cloud, and just doing kind of a debrief of how they planned for that, how we did that. And I will be hosting that along with the solutions architect from the company, who I worked closely with during their migration. So if you're not signed up for it already, check that out. And any questions you have about Vapor and Vapor to Cloud and all of those, go ahead and put that in there, and we'll be happy to answer them and get to that. So
I dropped the link again. I have it pinned. So if you want to sign up for the webinar, you would go to the Luma link and you can register there. Like Devon said, that's a great place to ask any migration questions about Vapor to Cloud or any questions about Vapor or Cloud there as well. Or I know there were some questions on Reddit about real life examples or use cases of cloud. And I think this is a great place to go if you are curious about cloud, as well as in general. If you have questions about cloud, about pricing, great places to go are cloud.laravel.com. Yeah, cloud.laravel.com, and you can go to our enterprise page to learn more about private cloud or preview environments or anything there. You can also go to the pricing calculator page on the same website to kind of play around with different options and what your cost would be on Laravel Cloud. And then the documentation for Laravel Cloud is amazing as well. So it can probably answer a lot of your questions too. And feel free to drop any questions you have still into the Slido I shared, the one for after office hours, and we will get back to you next office hours. Thank you all for being here. Bye.